2025. Seoul feels colder than usual. Not because the wind is blowing harder or the sky is darker, but because two of the brightest stars in the Korean entertainment sky have suddenly extinguished their light. Jungkook and Taehyung, two names that once echoed like hymns in a stadium full of purple, are now only whispered with uncertainty. They made no mistakes, no scandals, no fights. They just disappeared, with a silence that made the world feel uneasy. And somehow that silence is the loudest. After completing his military service, Taehyung, or V as the world knows him, was expected to return with a smashing solo comeback and a slew of luxury brand deals. Jikook even had the stage set. But Taehyung never showed up. He turned down all the offers, calmly, politely, and without hesitation. Sources close to him say he chose nothing over everything. No schedules, no conferences, no promises, just space, to breathe, to simply exist. In a private interview, he uttered a phrase that has since been circling army circles like a mantra. Sometimes freedom doesn't mean flying. Sometimes freedom means walking away when the world is begging you to stay. Around the same time, Jungkook's name began to fade from Korean headlines. Instead, he appeared as a soft whisper in Los Angeles. He didn't announce his move. He didn't explain anything. But word from Beverly Hills was that he was renting a place there. American music industry sources said he was often seen behind the studio walls, and rumors began to swirl about a major change. A new album, a different career direction, a new kind of independence. He didn't run. But he didn't stay either. The only official statement from HYB was, "Every artist has the right to make personal decisions about their career." It sounded neutral, but in the absence of clarity, it felt like a riddle. Why no? Why at the same time? And why in silence? Some called it a coincidence. Others felt it was the beginning of a storm. K-pop industry observers are starting to use terms that used to be impossible to associate with BTS. Fracture, exhaustion, dislocation. To understand this moment, we have to remember who Jungkook and Taehyung are. Not as idols, but as people. From the beginning, they have always carried themselves differently. More poetic, more unpredictable, more human than the system that raised them. Their words, their work, even their silence, always meant more than a press release. Maybe this is their resistance. Not with anger, not with outburst, but with gentle resistance. A refusal to be consumed by a machine that publicly worships them but secretly drains them from the inside. The rumors continue to spread. There are emergency meetings at HYB, late-night negotiations, sudden stock price drops. Uncertainty hangs over the agency. Investors hold their breath. Fans reread every cryptic post, every deleted tweet, every shadow in every video. And through it all, Jungkook and Taehyung remain human, whole, real, and painful. No explanations. No denials. Just an absence. Online army is divided. Some cling to hope. Others wallow in sadness. Fan theories spread like stars. Some believe Jungkook is preparing for a US re-debut. Others are convinced Taehyung is silently battling internal pressure. But one thing they all agree on, this isn't just a buzz. This is a real shift. We may never get a press conference. There may never be a "we're leaving" or a "we're staying." Because for artists like Jungkook and Taehyung, decisions are never theatrical. They exist in silence, in the heart, in the spirit. But their impact resonates louder than any song. Maybe that's how legends grow old. Not by fading away, but by ultimately choosing themselves. And what about you, the fan? Will you demand answers they're not ready to give you? Or will you give them the gift they've given you all along? Patience, love, and faith in the story, even when the next chapter hasn't been written yet. You don't leave the world's biggest stage without knowing the consequences. Unless staying hurts more. Jungkook's new studio in Los Angeles reportedly doesn't have any soundproofing. Sometimes his voice leaks through the cracked windows and floats through the night air, raw, unproduced. Just him, a piano, and a wound that refuses to heal peacefully. An Uber driver delivering coffee swore he heard the voice say, "I don't belong to anyone. Not even the dream I gave up everything for." No photos. No proof. But the rumor reached Weverse in a matter of hours. An army, ever the wisest about listening through the silence, recognized the voice. Meanwhile in Seoul, Taehyung hadn't made a single appearance since the last full moon. No paparazzi. No sightings at the airport. No front row at a fashion show. Just one blurry photo from a fan who claimed to have seen him at Bukshan Hanok village at dawn. His hair longer, his gaze wistful, standing under a lantern as if waiting for someone who never showed up. He looks like someone who has everything but is missing the most important thing, the fan wrote. Taehyung, it was as if he had become a ghost in his own city. Inside HYB's glass tower, the tension was frozen. An internal memo, soon deleted, revealed plans for an initiative called Operation Continuum, which was allegedly BTS's post-military restructuring strategy. But Taehyung's decision to step down and Jungkook's cross-continental move have thrown that plan into disarray. Someone inside whispered, they thought they could continue the past. But the past is gone. Investors panicked. Not because the music stopped, but because his soul was gone. A viral Twitter thread claimed a stylist saw Jungkook writing a letter at a cafe near HYB. He wrote slowly, folded the letter and then tore it. The stylist only managed to read one line. Tell her I'm leaving because I love her more than this stage. Speculation abounded. Was him Taehyung, Namjoon, himself? But in the end it wasn't who was meant. It was a burden too heavy to bear, too deep to explain. Jikook hadn't been forgotten. An invisible thread had bound them together in rumors, in silent glances, in brief touches on stage and the silences that followed. Now, as the two of them walked off in seemingly different directions, ARMY wondered, were their departures connected? Was there a secret promise? A vow whispered in the light of a dressing room? A theory from a Korean fan cafe says they met in secret for the last time on Jeju Island. They sat together looking out at the ocean. Taehyung said, we don't have to be visible to be real. Jungkook replied, then let's disappear. But let's never disappear from each other. There's no proof. But in the BTS universe, feelings are more important than facts. What hurts is not that they left, but that they left like a poem, unfinished but unforgettable. There was no farewell concert. There was no dramatic announcement. Just silence. And in that silence, the echo of all that was left unsaid. Maybe that's what they wanted to convey. That they were never just performing. They were human beings. Human beings who once gave everything to the world and now ask the world to give them one thing back. Peace. Fans are still waiting. Some write letters that will never arrive. Some rewatch old V-Lives like holy scripture. Some cry not because they left, but because they understand. This isn't a betrayal. This is a journey of becoming. A journey that may require them to step off the stage if only for a moment. And if they never come back, then let this be the truth we hold dear. Jungkook and Taehyung did not disappear. They simply changed the coordinates of their hearts. And if you close your eyes, if you listen hard enough, you can still hear them. Not on the charts. Not in the headlines. But in every quiet moment when you choose yourself amidst the demands of the world. Because maybe that's what they've been trying to teach you all along.